Welcome back. The Senate last week amended the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act, tinkering with certain sections, especially Section 18, subsection 1 and 2. They transferred the President's regulatory powers over the Bureau and Tribunal to the National Assembly. The Senate also reintroduced a provision which authorizes the CCB to invite anyone found culpable in asset declaration to make necessary correction as against being charged to the tribunal for trial. But there has been argument in some quarters that the Senate, and by extension the National Assembly, cannot make such amendments without first amending the Constitution. Some lawyers react to this issue.
By virtue of the provisions of the Constitution, I think Section 4 thereof, the powers to make laws is vested in the National Assembly. And when I say the National Assembly, it means the Senate and the House of Representatives. Having said that, there is no provision of the law that cannot be amended, including the Constitution itself. I am aware that the CCT is a creation of the Constitution, and if it is a creation of the Constitution, I don't believe it is a law that can be readily amended by just a bill of the National Assembly without following the strict procedures that have been stipulated in the Constitution for amendment of the Constitution, which will include getting, I think, about 2/3 of the House of Assemblies of the states, of all the states of the Federation, to pass a law to amend it. I think that is the position.
You remember in our elementary knowledge of amendments or reading of the bill at the secondary school level that it has to pass through so many stages. Now you cannot just sumo to get up one day and say, look, we want to amend this. You have to go through the constitutional provision in amending it, because ours is a written and rigid constitution, unlike unitary constitution where 2 or 3 people can just gather together, or military governments where they operate a decree and 2 or 3 of them can just get up and say, look, we are changing this. It is not like that with Code of Conduct Tribunal. And you know, Code of Conduct Tribunal specifically to curb corruption. That is what it is. And anything that has to do that has to affect the rights of citizens, it has to be properly done.
My opinion is that it's akin to changing the goalpost in the middle of the match, in the middle of a football match. That is what I think it is. They have a right to amend any law, as a matter of fact. The National Assembly is established for that purpose, for making laws and amending laws. However, the Code of Conduct Tribunal Act enjoys a special status by virtue of its incorporation in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yes, it is incorporated by reference. It enjoys the kind of status that the Land Use Act enjoys. So I am of the opinion that it cannot be easily amended without, first of all, amending the Constitution itself.
The President has 2 options. The President has the option of assenting to the bill. The President has the option of not assenting to the bill. In the event that the President does not assent to the bill, of course the Senate, the National Assembly, has the right to veto the President, which is a difficult thing to do. But I think that's democracy. I think that's how it's supposed to be played. But I, as a personal view of mine, I think I would rather side with a National Assembly of many members with divergent views, where arguments can be made for and against certain issues and propositions, than for one man who is the President. Which is not to say, I understand the ideas that people have about the fight against corruption, but I think we stand a better chance of having, it is said that it is at the moment where you have difficulties, if you stay true to your values, then you really have those values as your values. So at this difficult moment, if we uphold the values of democracy, uphold the values of having a parliament and having them to do their job, in spite of the fact that we have corruption, then I think that we are well on the way in making headway with democracy, and ultimately, maybe slow, ultimately our country will be better for it.